Chapter 15, Trump Tower, Manhattan, November 2003. It takes a village to get Donald Trump ready for his close-up. I want to look my best. Dozens of people who are now working on the soon-to-debut NBC program The Apprentice are waiting for Mr. Trump to appear on the set. Everybody loves me. That's why they want to see me. As usual, he's late. I'm fashionably late. As he sits in a private room, getting what is called hair and makeup, the show's creator, a former British parachute regiment commando named Mark Burnett, is going over the script with his star. But Donald Trump has not read the entire screenplay because he doesn't do that. I love to improvise. He will wing much of the dialogue, as he usually does. Yes, I do. Saying pretty much anything that pops into his head. I don't have a censor in my brain. If it doesn't work, they will edit it out of the final product. Donald, as always, is supremely confident that he, himself, can make the show entertaining. Of course I can! Who said that I couldn't? He can make it fabulous, a huge hit. I can do anything I set my mind to. Right now, Donald is focused on aesthetics. His dyed blonde hair is swept up in an elaborate style. The stylist has known Donald Trump for a long time. He trusts her to spray the mane so it will stay in place until Christmas if necessary. She does a good job of that, as you can see. Trump's lead makeup artist is also a longtime confidant. The mogul favors a tan look. How do you like my tan? And likes flattery. You look good. Thank you. The artist knows Trump is extremely disciplined in his grooming. I am. His shave is always perfect. His clothes crisp. Donald Trump's appearance is important to the show, as it subliminally demonstrates that he is in command of himself and everyone around him. Remember, I went to military school. Mark Burnett believes in Donald Trump and understands that unlike his other TV ventures, this one is unique. It is. Burnett is not solely in charge as he usually is. No, he's not. His star will be available to him for only a relatively short time each week because Trump gets bored easily with repetition and the minutiae of the taping process. I get bored very easily. I'm starting to get bored with this, by the way. When am I going to get out of here? I'm hungry. There will be a few retakes, but not many. Burnett will get what he can on video and then rely on his genius in the editing room. Good luck! Putting together a mega-hit television program is an arduous task. I know, I've experienced it. Twice. Most shows quickly fail for one simple reason. Viewers don't watch. I have to make sure that the viewers watch. Yes, I do. It takes enormous energy and boldness to drive a news or reality program to success. Think back to those few who had been part of that. Barbara Walters and Katie Couric on The Today Show, Oprah, Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes, Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football. There are very few individuals who break through and become icons on television. You must possess charisma and confidence. You have to be magnetic on the screen. And I am all those things. Without any formal TV training, Donald Trump accomplished television success, and it set him up for the presidency. What did I tell you? I always win. I do everything that I set my mind to, and I accomplish everything. The Apprentice began in January 2004 and lasted until 2015, when the mogul was fired for a controversial remark about undocumented immigrants from Mexico. Of course, here we go. Bullcrap. By that point, Trump was involved with politics and had tired of the TV grind. Been there, done that, for 11 years, a staggering amount of time for a TV program to run. The venture was mission accomplished for Donald Trump. Mission accomplished. After The Apprentice success, almost every potential voter in the United States knew who Trump was, a tremendous advantage if you are seeking national office. I knew exactly what I was doing. It was all part of my plan. Before we get into Trump's shrewd approach to The Apprentice, let's examine his public and private persona. Yes, let's do so. Unlike most people, Donald Trump has few doubts about himself. He can do it. That's his strong belief. He can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. Even when he fails, as he did for a time running the Trump Organization, he is not dissuaded from his self-supporting attitude. Whatever it is, he'll get out of it and prosper. Everything will be terrific. The end result of his involvement will be the greatest. The absolute greatest. No doubts, no fear, no surrender. That's what I learned in military school. And it's not an act. No, it's not. Donald Trump sees himself as the ultimate winner in life. And I am. I am the ultimate winner in life. But if you don't see him that way, there may be a problem. As Shakespeare incorporated into his works, every person has a tragic flaw. Or two. Maybe three. For President Trump, it's insecurity, number one. No insecurity. You can do it, no matter what. No insecurity. If you are not with him, you are an enemy who must be challenged. Don't you dare challenge me. This sometimes leads to chaotic behavior and verbal exaggeration. That's what happened in the John McCain war hero madness. In the run-up to the 2016 Republican primaries, Senator McCain had little use for Donald Trump, and did not hide that. Who cares what he thinks? The late senator was a traditional legislator, and a brash outsider like Trump attacking the DC status quo offended him. However, McCain had something in common with Trump. He was not shy about giving his opinion. Well, nobody cares what McCain thinks. So when Donald Trump heard John McCain disparage him by criticizing Trump's assessment that Mexico was not sending quality people to America, he lashed back, marginalizing McCain's captivity in Vietnam. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured. That statement was a poor decision by Trump, says you, given that there is no question that as a POW, McCain suffered grievously in a North Vietnam prison. I spoke with Trump privately about the comment, as I was surprised by it. Trump had endorsed McCain in his 2008 presidential run against Barack Obama. In my private conversation, which will remain confidential because it was off the record, it became clear to me that Donald Trump had acted emotionally. Wouldn't you? I asked him to go on the record on my TV program, which he agreed to do. Of course I did. In the meantime, the anti-Trump press, which was quickly growing in strength, killed him. Story after story appeared chronicling how Donald Trump despises Mexicans and the great American hero John McCain. They always take that out of context. Reporter Cheryl Atkinson noticed the hysterical reaction from the press and wrote an article on her website criticizing the Washington Post for failing to report that Trump had acknowledged John McCain's heroism 4 times before making the "I like people who weren't captured" comment. No one talks about that, do they? Atkinson's analysis was correct. The Washington Post omitted an important part of the story on purpose. The paper had wanted to hurt Donald Trump. They always do, as it almost always does. Not almost, always. Yet the deceit was unnecessary because Trump had hurt himself with the captivity statement. On July 20th, 2015, Donald Trump appeared on the O'Reilly Factor. When you were asked about McCain, you got into his war record, and I think you would admit here tonight that was a mistake because John McCain was a hero, and you know that. But I haven't said anything different. In fact, Cheryl Atkinson analyzed what I said, and she said Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said the right things. In fact, he said war hero 4 times. But wait, the fact of the matter is we just played the clip of Trump's remarks where you said he was captured, and I like people who weren't captured. Now, you know that wasn't correct. He was on a bombing mission. He was shot down. He was tortured. He could have been released, but said no, because he wanted to stay with his captured comrades. Come on, Donald. You know that the way that came off wasn't correct. No matter how I say it, what I said, including my remarks, right afterward, right off the stage, and Cheryl Atkinson is highly respected, she said it was very unfair the way the media reported it. Maybe that was unfair, but you yourself, And I've known you for a long time, and I want to be honest. You do think John McCain is a hero. I know you do. I do. And by the way, I said it. I actually said it 4 times. Of course, the most efficient thing Donald Trump could have done there was simply to apologize for the captured remark. But that could not happen because it goes against Trump's personal philosophy, one that few people understand, but his children do. Your father's not a guy who really admits mistakes. No, he doesn't. No, I don't. Have you ever heard him admit a mistake? Has he ever said to you, Don, I'm really sorry I made a mistake? No. What he will do when he is wrong, and he knows it, he'll make small talk. And he's not a small talk kind of a guy. And I'm like, it's okay. You can say you're sorry. And he'll say, what are you talking about? Why doesn't he admit mistakes? I think he recognizes that in the world of mob mentality, you get no credit for being sorry. You get no forgiveness. You get no quarter. No, you don't. Not even a penny. Do you think he sees it as weakness? I think there's an element of that too. It's just another sign of weakness if you own it. Better to move on and say this is what I'm going to do in the future. I think the strategy has played out pretty well for him. And it has. Many Americans have forgiven Donald Trump his trespasses because they believe his job performance is more important than his foibles. Trump has correctly assessed that his appeal lies in being brash, unrepentant, and successful. That's how it works. Everything else is background noise. If you think about it, Trump's personal philosophy is shocking for a person in the public arena. But there is no question that his flamboyant presentation holds strong appeal for millions of people, including you who watch this video. Somehow Donald Trump figured out that his Pied Piper flute played a very different tune, one that might lead him to vast power, and it has. He just had to let the folks know what his viewpoint on life actually was. And being an entertainer on national television gave him that solid gold opportunity. The backstory on The Apprentice is fairly straightforward. In the early 2000s, Mark Burnett, who developed the hit program Survivor for CBS, was looking for another property. He pitched Donald Trump with a concept that various contestants would compete for a corporate job with nice money attached to the winner. Trump would be the rich mogul who decides who gets kicked off the corporate island each week. It was Survivor with nice grooming, and it immediately appealed to the businessman Trump because he knew the following things. He was the sole star, and the plot lines would always feature him as a superhero in business, a strong, successful guy who rules his domain. His company would receive 50% of the profits with no investment on his part other than time. In fact, it appears that his overall compensation for The Apprentice clocked in at north of $200 million. Survivor had been huge, and Mark Burnett was hot in Hollywood. The Trump Tower would be the primary set, for a nice fee. His actual work time was short. He shows up, ad-libs most of the dialogue, and leaves. His other properties and overall brand are featured on the program on a regular basis, giving him sensational marketing opportunities at no cost. He is seen worldwide as very powerful, the ultimate successful guy in America. That's how it works. That's why I did what I did. For Donald Trump, The Apprentice was the best deal he ever made, and the smart money knows it set him up for a presidential run. Researching Trump's 14 seasons on The Apprentice is pretty much a waste of time. Mark Burnett requires employees on all his shows to sign non-disclosure agreements. Violate that, and you get sued. Of course, I could use anonymous sources, many of whom would trash Donald Trump. But that would be inappropriate because I couldn't possibly know why the anonymous source was denigrating Trump. There are also people who say good things about Mr. Trump's appearances on The Apprentice. Jeff Zucker, who presently runs CNN, was an NBC executive at the time, and he heaped lavish praise on Trump. Now Zucker is perhaps Trump's worst enemy, as his network has turned into a 24/7 Trump-bashing outfit. Yep. As they say in Hollywood, it's complicated. So, let's just stick with the facts. Good job, Bill. In 2004, Donald Trump and Mark Burnett appeared on a panel in Los Angeles to promote The Apprentice. The star said he initially had reservations about doing a reality show. I don't want to have cameras all over my office, dealing with contractors, politicians, mobsters, and everyone else I have to deal with in my business. You know, mobsters don't like, as they're talking to me, having cameras all over the room. It would play well on television, but it wouldn't play well with them. For his part, the astute Burnett recognized Donald Trump's appeal to so many people. He said this while sitting next to his star on that panel. Donald will say whatever Donald wants to say. He takes no prisoners. If you're Donald's friend, he'll defend you all day long. If you're not, he's gonna kill you. And that's very American. It's like the guys who built the West. That's all true about me, you know. The Trump-Burnett team succeeded on a scale rarely seen in the entertainment industry. But more important, American history would be directly affected by the reality show, which really had only one reality in it. Donald Trump ruled. And I still rule. In 2019, the uber-left New Yorker magazine ran a hit piece on Mark Burnett written by Patrick Radden Keefe. The guy tried hard in the story to brand Donald Trump a racist. Here we go again. And wrote a number of unflattering things about him, but the piece really amounted to nothing. At one point, the word assassin unsheathed his knife this way. Trump's natural idiom is vulgarity, and the targets of his ire, Colin Kaepernick, shithole countries, any African American who asks him a tough question, are clearly not chosen at random. Clear to whom? Does anyone think Donald Trump would not have scorched a white football player who championed a movement to kneel during the national anthem and who wore socks depicting police officers as pigs? Anyone? I would do it to anyone. If you are disrespectful to our country, I'm gonna give it to you. I will give it to you if you disrespect American values. And how about CNN's White House correspondent, Jim Acosta, whom Trump hammers all the time? I hate him. I believe he's not an African American. No, he's not. So I'm not a racist, so yeah. The only reason I even mention the New Yorker attack is to document once again that what you read and hear about Donald Trump is largely fiction. The truth is much more nuanced. And here's the truth about The Apprentice. It was the single most important vehicle in Donald Trump's quest to be president of the United States. That's why I went on TV, to become president. The Apprentice convinced millions of people that the businessman was far more than a real estate mogul. I am so much more than that. Over a period of 11 years, the psychology of the show gave Trump the aura of authority, accomplishment, and vast influence. Yes, it did. And I'm so thankful for it. Thus, in 2015, Donald Trump knew the table had been set. He believed that America was ready for a strongman in politics. He watched a lot of cable news and did not like what President Obama was doing. He would have fired Mr. Obama from The Apprentice. Oh, yes, I would. And if I could have fired him from being president. So, well beyond revved up, Citizen Trump decided to take his money, fame, and ambition into the world of presidential politics. As always, he had a plan of his own design. No consultants, no paid political action committee, no giant fundraising apparatus. Trump was coming alone, and hell was coming with him. But most important, America would never be the same. Not with me as president. With me as president, America has changed for the better.